There's a zillion things keeping us stuck in life. And it's foolish to think that we can somehow overcome all of them. It's just too overwhelming. So what do? Just stay stuck forever? Stay in our endless loops of bullshit and stress? Well, that doesn't sound very fun. I think it might be best if we can identify like one or two of the top contributing things that are keeping us stuck. If we can identify those one or two, we can just tackle those. And all of the rest of them are just easy. We'll just handle those as we get to them. As many of you know, I've been on this whole peace kick for many years now. It's honestly, it's been since I got back from that cross-country bicycle trip that I did. I rode my bike 2,000 miles straight into Compton, California. Yada, yada, yada. It was a crazy trip, and it just changed my life. It changed my life because during it, I experienced inner peace for the first time. That might sound crazy, but it's true. I had been calm before, and I had been happy before, and everything. I was in my late 30s. But I had never encountered true inner peace until then. And once I got a taste of it, I was like, man, everybody needs to know about this. So I started publishing books and writing poems and trying to get speaking engagements and doing social media posts and all these things. I started my life coaching agency, all in an effort to promote this thing that I experienced out there. It was a 2,000-mile bicycle trip through the desert in the middle of summer. It was crazy. But I did all these things to promote what I experienced, to promote peace. And obviously I got a lot of pushback, and people, rejected me or thought what I was saying was dumb. And, it's like, I don't know. Is inner peace dumb? Is peace lame? Is it? Because I kind of think it's pretty awesome. Anyway, as I progressed through my peace coaching practice, I found out that there's a pattern of behavior in a lot of people. I would probably even go as far as saying in most people, or maybe even in all people. I know it's in myself. I have it too. And I've researched psychology from Freud to Maslow to Jung and, even all the way back to Marcus Aurelius and everybody, Rumi, all of them. I've searched for the concept, or at least a single identifying phrase that describes what I call solution rejection. In psychology, there are some terms, there's some categories, there's some concepts that come close to my idea of solution rejection, but they're not exactly right. What I mean is that probably the number one, if not, maybe number two, it's either one or two of the biggest thing keeping you stuck is the same thing that kept me stuck, the same thing that keeps your neighbor stuck, or your friend, or your children, or your parents, or the people at the gas station or the people on the highway. It's the same thing. It's this pattern that we have as people. And it's that we have this tendency to reject a solution. We reject a solution not because it's wrong. We reject a solution for really two main reasons. The biggest reason is simply that we didn't come up with it ourselves. Like if somebody has this great idea and they try to tell you about it, you're probably not really going to listen to them. You might hear them. You might be polite and let them speak. But are you going to implement that advice in your life? Probably not. However, if you were taking a walk around the block one day and it was a cool day and the sun was beating down on you, in a nice 70-degree day, the wind was blowing, the leaves were waving, and the birds were chirping, and then all of a sudden you had this idea pop up into your head. An idea about how you could move forward in life, how you could suffer less. You may embrace it. That idea may change your life. That idea may get you going to where you have always been wanting to go. It may be the solution to all the problems. But here's the weird thing. That exact same solution might be the same solution those other people said, but you rejected it. We have this tendency to reject solutions simply because we aren't the ones who came up with it. That's thing one. The second driving factor in solution rejection is in perceived difficulty. We think sometimes we know that some advice that we hear is the right advice. But we're like, fuck that. That's too much. I got all this other stuff to do. It's too difficult. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy or the will or the motivation or the power to do it. I just don't have it. Those are the two driving factors for this concept called solution rejection. So what do we do about it? Well, I know what maybe we shouldn't do about it. We shouldn't do the opposite of solution rejection and just blindly take everyone's advice at all times. See, the thing about advice from another person is it's always perspective-based. And the problem with perspectives is that none of them can be perfectly accurate. They just can't. If a person holds a perspective, then simultaneously the opposite perspective is equally true. And those two sides can debate and debate and debate to the end of time. Perspectives may be indicative, but they're not accurate. They're not precise. So that's the problem with advice, is it's perspective-based. So the solution to solution rejection isn't blindly taking other people's advice. It's only about not rejecting right advice. It's about not rejecting the correct path. And the cool thing about that is that you've been given this gift. And it's called common sense. You may not use it, but you have it. You have access to it. It's a common sense. If we all didn't have access to it, it wouldn't be a common sense. You can tell what's right or wrong. You can tell. So the solution for the pattern of solution rejection, the way to fix it, isn't about blindly taking everyone's advice. It's simply about not rejecting the correct path. This is something you can do. This is something you can start today. This is something that will change and improve your life for real. Just do the right thing. It's extremely simple. Sure, you may make mistakes. You may make them. Obviously you will. Everybody does. And that's okay. I look at mistakes kind of the same way I look at suffering or anxiety or depression or challenges or trauma or tragedy. I look at all of them the same. And I look at them like this big, giant, deep pit of shittiness and hell. It sucks down there. It's a pit. It's full of sludge, stress and strife. All the things that we suffer from. It's full of suffering. It's a giant pit. It's so giant, it's bigger than a pit. It's literally like as big as the space in between mountains. It's that big. It's the valley. But the weird thing about having these giant, majestic, beautiful mountain peaks is the mountain can't exist without a valley. Otherwise, it would just be flat. This creates this wave pattern like a electrocardiogram. The wave pattern of life. If it was just flat, nice and smooth and easy going, we'd be dead. There's nothing easier than being dead. Being alive has these peaks and valleys, these ebbs and flows. And that's what life is. Sometimes we get caught in that valley, and that's where we get stuck. And our entrapment there usually has to do with thoughts of difficulty or stress or turmoil or tragedy, depression or anxiety or anything bad. And we get stuck down there. But there's a way we can get out. There's a way we can start making our way up the mountain peak again, to look out at all the views and just be in love with life again. Feel a fire inside of us, that candle who has a flame that never flickers. That path is having inner peace. I know. We are programmed or conditioned to almost automatically think of peace as kind of stupid, kind of lame. We think that. But I would urge you to not fall prey to solution rejection. The path out of the pit has to do quite strongly with the concept, the cultivation, the generation, and the application of inner peace. When we quit letting things bother us, we become less bothered. Having fewer bothers can help accelerate your life, accelerate you up out of that pit. When we have inner peace, we have less criticism. Our way becomes smoother, and it's an easier climb. When we have inner peace, we have abandoned all thoughts of hatred. We learn to realize that there's nothing to hate. Can you wrap your brain around that? There's nothing to hate. Except maybe hatred. It's probably okay to hate. But even that, I don't know. I don't think you can solve hate with hate. I think it takes having inner peace inside. What about difficulty? Can the concept of inner peace help eliminate difficulty? Well, of course it can. Of course it can. If you have inner peace inside of you, you realize that a lot of things, and honestly maybe all things, but for sure at least a lot of things, are perspective based. Remember what we learned about perspective. If a perspective exists, then its opposite perspective is equally true. And I know nobody wants to hear that. But that's because perspectives are inaccurate. They're debatable. That's why it seems that often when people are in a debate, the person who wins the debate isn't more right than the other person. They're just better at debating. Or more inclined to stick with it. But if most things are perspective-based, and perspectives are fundamentally inaccurate, then what's that say about difficulty? May difficulty just simply be a perspective? Well, I think it probably is. I think it's true. So inner peace can handle feelings of things being too difficult. What about trauma? You've experienced a giant tragedy. Am I really going to sit here and tell you that having inner peace inside of you would feel good? Well, of course. Duh. When we're having a post-traumatic stress disorder, or even a current traumatic stress disorder, sure, the tragedy on the outside of us has happened or is happening. I'm not debating that. What I'm saying is that inside of us, a turmoil has happened. Maybe that internal candle has flickered or even blown out completely. That sucks. It hurts inside. People try to reach us and tell us that, oh, they know how we feel. They've experienced this trauma or that trauma or whatever, but no one knows exactly how it feels for an individual to experience the traumas that they've experienced, and no words can take that away. But planting peace inside of ourselves can. Is peace going to take the traumatic event away? No. I'm not talking about peace out there in the world. I'm not talking about the absence of challenges. I'm not talking about avoiding conflict. I'm not disputing that bad things happen. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying those are all on the outside of us, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what's inside of us. And inner peace is a hell of a lot better than inner stress or inner turmoil or strife or depression or anxiety. But one of the patterns in my peace coaching practice that I've done, or that I've seen, and really it helped me identify it within myself, is solution rejection. If a person can get a hold of that, wrangle it in, they may just see some progress. They may climb out of that proverbial valley today. I urge you, as part of my life's honest and sincere mission, to not only believe that inner peace is the way, but to know it, to practice it, to study it, not just in a 3-minute video, but in a lifelong study of it. Become a student of peace. You know, that's why I named my life coaching agency Peace Student. Because all we're simply doing is, I'm not here to teach peace. I'm here to engage you in the study of it. Because I am a student of it too. And I find that if I can keep myself in that receptive state where I'm willing to learn, and I'm willing to accept the correct path, then I can overcome solution rejection. And so can you. I've seen other people do it right in front of my own eyes. If you get anything out of this little video, let it be this. inner peace is the way. And I would ask you to ask yourself, did you just reject that? If you liked what I had to say, or if you'd like to know more about my philosophy on how inner peace can change our lives, or even if you just want to know about that 2,000-mile bicycle journey that I took from central Illinois all the way to Compton, California, and all the trials and tribulations and things that I experienced, all the flat tires and the animals and the dog attacks and the crazy gangsters and the raging storms in Kansas where I had to just sit out there and weather it. The Native Americans that I spoke to, or how I died in the desert, or my experience in Compton, California itself, then pick up my book. It's published. It's one of my, I think I have 8 or 9 published books now, but 2 of those books are about this journey. This book here that I'm recommending, the one that you see a picture of, it's called The 100th Breath. That book has sold in multiple countries, all over the United States. It's definitely my best seller. So check it out. Go to Amazon, The 100th Breath. Check it out today. And above all else, go with peace, my friend.